I don't know who needs to hear this, but LowTierGod isn't actually funny. Some of you may jump to his defense, and based on LTG's fragile ego, I would assume he enjoys the feeling of your chode sliding in between his butt cheeks as much as he likes dishing out playground-level insults for his audience of white 10-year-olds who have never met a black person. But for those of you that understand what I mean, you're validated. A quick backstory. LowTierGod was a YouTuber until he was kicked off the platform, and a streamer until he was kicked off the platform, as well as a professional competitor in regular FGC tournaments known for shit-talking the opposition into submission, or something like that. He's primarily known for getting his ass handed to him and then crying about it afterwards. He's also recognized as fostering an equally shitty community of people who want to be just like him and regularly convincing them to harass, dox, or attempt to destroy other creators and their livelihoods. And we're all caught up. According to the internet, he's 6'5", but still struggles to grab even that low-hanging fruit. Because when he makes a 2-minute pre-recorded video on Boogie, he's unable to see past Steven's thick figure, elongated titties, and what seems to be misplaced nipples. The problem with Boogie isn't that gordita crunch shit smear spanning the length of his tidy whities, it's the air of desperation that's reminiscent of a streamer who spends half of his match talking shit and the other half getting Piper parried by a group of 14-year-olds on Tekken. With a fitting name like LowTierGod, it's no wonder he's so used to dropping his drawers and getting pegged by the likes of Manaka every other match. I'm kidding, of course. He throws an absolute fit and cries on stream for 20 minutes like real men do. According to sources like Fandom, Low-Tier Cope grew up in a rough neighborhood, which I'm inclined to believe due to his proclivity for running his mouth before proceeding to be throat-fucked by everyone better than him, which explains why he wears super tight t-shirts and flexes in all of his glamour shots. And not flexing with a Rolex on his wrist or a Lamborghini in the background, I mean literal flexing. Like, this motherfucker needs you to know how tough and scary he is. Don't mess with me, I'll beat your ass. In fact, I think he should just change his name to Low Tier. Period. The only thing lower than his tears, though, is this proclivity for dropping to his knees and sucking off the other competitors in the DMs for a chance to learn how to not get his ass kicked so much. As word has it, his pride is similar to the bisexual community in that it goes both ways. It's not even a wonder why no one in his community respects him, when the only fighting he's good at is fighting to get those pants around his ankles and those butt cheeks spread nice and wide for the gaming community. And while we're on the subject of spreading butt cheeks, like Dale would say, I'm a nobody that's dick riding him for views. And as such, I need to spread them router cheeks nice and wide and let you slide in so that you can hit that subscribe button. As we recently hit 1,400 subs, and Dale personally promised me that he'll squeeze out a glass of his titty milk for each and every individual that subscribes today. So click the like button, share the video with Dale, and comment and let me know what flavor milk you get. And back to the video. So an actual professional gamer by the name of Brolylegs completely bodied actual legit tears in an online match of Street Fighter. The twist being that Broly was born with a genetic condition called arthrogryposis, hindering his muscle and joint growth and limiting his body's capabilities. Although instead of crying about his disadvantages like Low Tier Turd does, he learned to use his mouth to control his fighter, similar to how trophy wives control their husband's finances, or how Low Tier begs his fan base to go defend his honor by doxing other creators or trying to get them kicked off the platform. Following that ass whooping, Johnson's No Tears shampoo holds back the tears as he exits the match and proceeds to make every excuse in the world for why the game was unfair, and he was the ultimate alpha god, a super badass, and no, I'm not crying, I just have something in my eye, and that's the only reason he got the advantage. It's interesting, actually, because after this, he proceeds to berate and insult Brolylegs, not only about the match, but also about his disability, which tells me if he gets this butthurt about a man with an impairment that he can't help, I can only imagine how he'd feel if it got thrown back at him. LowTierGod, the only combo you'll never fail to use is menu to close app. The salt you spew after every match is repercussions of all the sweaty gamer loads you swallow when you beg for advice. The fact that you throw a fit like a 13-year-old girl when you can't get your own way is indicative of why masculinity is the entire crux of your bullshit personality.
Why does this game keep linking me up with these same bitch-ass weirdos that stalk me every time I cut this game on?
You flexing your muscles and acting tough is as intimidating as a 5'4", 90-pound female with her hands on her hips giving me a disapproving look. Yeah, it's kinda hard to throw a fit that would rival the World of Warcraft kid and still convince anyone not to fuck with you. The only thing about you that's actually scary is we don't know if you're really having some mental breakdown on stream or if your body's just going through its natural changes as your uterus begins to expand. Hey, it turns out some yin yang twin lyrics may just be dedicated to your tournament days.
Beat the puss up, beat the puss up, beat the puss up, beat the puss up.
If Netflix ever gets around to making another drama series about a battered and abused woman trying to make her way in the world, you'd be the first they'd call to play the lead role. If you wound up dating one of the Kardashians, you'd be the first celebrity in history to ruin her career. I'm sorry I had to make all these jokes centered around you being a crybaby bitch, but that's really all you're known for, Dale. Now, it's not very often that I'll use clips like this in my breakdown videos, but the term breakdown is fitting, and I think if you're unfamiliar with his fits, this should give you a pretty good idea of what he's like.
It's the same fucking shit! Stick of please fucking characters! Shit!
Yeah, so apparently it's not enough to have a crippling disability that limits how you live your life. But you also have to throw the match, otherwise deal with the wrath of Dale's fucking temper tantrums and excuses because he can't accept an L like a real man. This whole kid coming from a rough neighborhood persona is quickly starting to fall apart if you think about it. Like, you're the equivalent of a trash-talking white kid in a Call of Duty lobby who gives up halfway through the match and just starts shouting the N-word over and over before rage quitting.
No, dude, you gotta call him like a nigger.
Now, some viewers might care for me to mention that Low Tier did give a shout out to Broly's recent passing briefly in one of his live streams, and when reminded of the drama 10 years prior would avoid sharing any of the details or giving an apology even, but was quick to end the topic and go right back to being a bitch. R.I.P. Brolylegs, this one's for you. Now, Dale, if you do catch wind of this video, just know that if you report it or strike it, I'll have already won. The only hope you have is to respond with something better, but your best bet is to just tell yourself and your audience that I'm not important enough to talk shit about, because I really don't think you're smart or clever enough to come back with anything you haven't already said a million times over. He hides his face. Incel, loser, nerd, troll, nobody. You aren't fucking clever, and you certainly aren't funny. Your fan base is made up of white kids that know they'll never get any better at Call of Duty, so they use you as the inspiration for the day that they can do more than just shout the N-word at strangers on the internet, before throwing their controller and demanding that their mom makes them a Hot Pocket. Hey, if you made it to the end, I appreciate you just sticking around at all. No hard-hitting journalism this time, just a bunch of bullshit. Thank you to my lovely patrons Jessica, Joe, and Pulped Milk. Feel free to join the Discord server today. A big shout out to my editor and artist. Links are going to be in the description, and stay tuned because I have a special event on the horizon. That'll about wrap it up, but until next time, Dale, go fuck yourself.